The latest, police in Nebo, near Groblersdal, have launched a manhunt for a traditional healer who accused of raping a 16-year-old girl at Ga-Marishane village. Police say the girl was seeking help from this traditional healer. The healer was well known in the area, but he disappeared after the incident. What can be done to stop the practice of dodgy traditional healers that exploit women? To find out, well, we are now joined by Thoko Mpumlwana, who is from the Commission for Gender Equality here in South Africa. She's the Deputy Chairperson. A very good morning to you, Thoko. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you for having us.
Now, we've had lots of issues around women. There's this one with the traditional healer. You watched the interview a little bit earlier about women having to pay 5,000 Rand to find a marriage proposal within 90 days. At the Gender Commission, we're in the 21st century. How do you view all these kinds of things?
Well, it's difficult. It's difficult to promote our constitution in South Africa. The constitution is very clear that you are okay the way you are. If you are a woman, you are okay in the way you are. And so you can practice your religion. People make their choices, but they must make choices that are within the constitution. If you want to practice as a traditional healer, then you can't break the law. If you rape, you are a criminal, period. Report to the police. If the police don't do anything about it, come to the Gender Commission. We will make sure that that prosecution happens, because that's a crime.
Now, I spoke to the pastor. I'm sure you watched the interview.
Yes,
it was
yes.
very interesting.
Yes.
I asked the pastor whether this idea that a woman must be married in order to achieve her life, in order to achieve fulfillment, in order to be recognized, where this idea comes from. She couldn't tell me where in Scripture this thing is written, but this idea that women can only achieve some sense of fulfillment through marriage. At the Gender Commission, do you find this archaic?
It definitely is. In fact, South Africa has evolved so much that we would have lots of women not in leadership if we were to pursue that. In fact, there are lots of very successful women, single women who run families, bring up children, balanced children if they have children. And in fact, a woman doesn't even have to have a child. You make a choice because the Constitution allows you to achieve, to fly the highest and to achieve your objectives in life. So you don't need a man to be successful. You just need your own initiative and your own drive. So as the Commission for Gender Equality, we do think indeed that they are entitled to their views as a church and their belief systems, but those belief systems should not be seen as the law that governs the country.
Why is it so easy for traditional healers and churches and the like to target women?
It's desperation. They don't only target women, they will also target vulnerable groups, people who want jobs. Sometimes, I mean, we've got cases where in South Africa, people still believe that if you had a part of a person with albinism, a little part bent, and then you drink a little bit, then you'll get a job. It's part of desperation that people have. But things that are illegal should be illegal. And we ask traditional leaders, we ask traditional healers and religious leaders to adhere to the law, because they will be arrested as well if they break the law.
5,000 Rand to find a man in 90 days. Surely in 2017, this is laughable, isn't it?
It is, indeed, indeed. You don't have to pay to find a man. If it's a real man,
they are for free.
Yeah, you can get a great man without paying a cent. All you do is to talk.
Yes.
Have a conversation, arrive at a particular agreement with the two of you, and enjoy your life.
I love the way that you think about this. It seems like, in the end, common sense. But you're right. There are many desperate people in the world, and it's easy to prey on the weak or when people are in a moment of weakness. But how do we protect women going forward like this?
I think we should continue to uphold the Constitution, to do a lot of education of our people. But we also call on leadership. Look, we can't go into that church and tell that pastor how to do. But we also need a lot of people who go to that church to really understand that there are limits to practicing your religion.
Yeah.
We are happy that the CRL Commission has a report that they are going to issue on regulation of some of these extremism that we see in the churches, so that people are not taken advantage of. So that report is going to come out. But we know that they are under a lot of pressure themselves because religious leaders don't want to be touched on that front, especially if it also touches the bottom line, you know. The bottom line is very important.
Especially if your bottom line makes you drive a Ferrari in this case.
So
it's the kind of things that we have to, unfortunately, have to see it for what it is in South Africa. But now, as we wrap up this conversation, it's a very nice one I've had with you. Thank you, I enjoyed it. But just give us your message out there to these vulnerable women first, but also I think as the Gender Commission, you have a duty to send a message to these religious leaders and traditional healers and traditional leaders who still find ways to exploit women.
We just want to say, as the Commission for Gender Equality, South Africa has got a constitution. And the Constitution is the supreme law of the land. And if people break the law, they will be arrested. And women must not feel that they have no voice. If you really feel strongly, come to the Gender Commission. We will assist you if you feel exploited. But we also want to say to women, you don't need anybody else to achieve your goals in life. Girl children should be brought up in a way that they can also feel as they grow up that they are good in their own right. They
are good enough.
Good enough.
Yes.
They don't need anybody to mold them into something else. So this is what our Constitution and our country preaches in South Africa.
Thoko, great talking to you today.
Thank you.
It's always nice to hear that kind of thing. I'm a father of 4 girls, so it's something that I'm very passionate about.
Absolutely.
You have to develop as a man also, and maybe the message to the men is be present, be better fathers, be better brothers, be better husbands, and all of our problems eventually will go away. Thank you for coming to talk to us today.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Now, that's from the Commission for Gender Equality here in South Africa. Thoko Mpumlwana, she's the Deputy Chairperson, joining us here on the Newsroom show, talking about, well, religious or traditional healers and practitioners that have been exploiting women here in South Africa. We're going to take a short little